The wide receiver position, we've talked about it a ton. I've talked about it with you, Sam, Connor. There's not a ton that needs to be said previously. Well, from what we said previously, but Marcus Kemp, man, I think he locked up a roster spot. Like he made a couple nice special teams plays, which is expected of him, and that kind of distinguishes him from guys like Darius Fountain or Cornell Powell. Kemp made those plays. He had 3 catches for 41 yards and a touchdown. He's been consistent when given opportunities. I think this is the year that he sticks, whether that's wide receiver 5 or wide receiver 6. I think the conversation starts with Kemp being on the roster and then choosing between a guy like Powell and Fountain. But Mark, do you think Kemp did enough in week 3 of the preseason to lock up a spot?
I do. I think so. He was a guy that, like you said, he's been a special teams guru the past couple of years when he wasn't hurt. And he looks solid. I mean, that touchdown catch was legit. That was a nice catch in the end zone and with defenders on him. So, yeah, that he made a nice play there that stood out. And that'll be in the coach's mind right there, right when they need to make the decision going into the regular season. So before they make the final cuts. And like you said, for the next receiver spot, it's going to be tough, man. You've got Fountain, you've got some of those other guys that you mentioned, then Powell. And man, I thought that Powell was going to be on the team. And then after watching the preseason week 3, I don't know. Maybe he'll get through waivers and go to the practice squad. Maybe they will just keep him on as a surprise keep. But man, it would be, for me at least, a surprise keep if they keep him on the 53-man heading into the season, just because of how well the other guys played. Not saying that he did terrible, but just the other guys around him, and they have a little bit more experience. Along with the special teams. So, yeah, I think it's going to be tough for Powell to make it on the 53 this year.
Yeah, I'm with you. And that's saying something, because like a few months ago, I was like, Cornell Powell could be getting legitimate run as an X-style receiver at the end of the season or like the beginning of 2022, and now he might not even make the team. So I put on my tinfoil hat earlier, and I was like, maybe they haven't been playing him a ton because they want to not get good tape out on him, and then they want to bring him back to after he clears waivers or whatever. But then I'm thinking teams aren't going to really give a what about what he did in the preseason. They're going to say, we liked him heading into the draft, we're going to take him and pick him up. So I forget who it was. I think it was Darren Carter, I believe, who made that point to me on Twitter. If I misattributed that, sorry, but that's a valid point. Like, the teams that he just got drafted a few months ago, so they're going to go based on that profile and how they fit, how he fits with their team, stuff like that. So Kemp, I think, has got to be there. And I think Fountain looks the part of an NFL wideout. That's what me and Josh Briscoe keep saying. He just looks like a wide receiver. And it's not because he wears 82. It's not because he kind of plays like Dwayne Bowe sometimes with being a physical guy. I think he just looks like a legitimate option.
Yeah, and I think he had the highest targets in the final preseason game as well. I think he had 7 targets. They were trying to get him the ball there when Bouchel came in. So yeah, it was kind of it was cool to see, because I think we all kind of like Fountain, at least Chiefs Twitter, when I'm signed in during the game, looking at what everybody's talking about. Everybody seems to like Fountain. People like French. I think it's just because his name is kind of cool with like 2 F's at the beginning of his last name, French. So I don't know if French is going to make it or not. But, I think it's going to be coming down to Fountain and Kemp. I think those are going to be the final guys that make it, along with the guys that are already ahead of them on the depth chart.